a good stance, or was, until you reach that way with
So
it.
it twisted. And then,
Cool. Okay, so from now on, when you do pedal stuff, I want you, particularly when you're doing this drill or any other drills, I want you to think about where your feet are, and just occasionally when you stop and check, or at least be conscious of what are my feet doing as I'm throwing this shot. I realise probably the last thing you think of, but what you don't want to be doing is you don't want to be getting
into the habit of
90.
doing that.
Don't want the 90. Certainly the 60, what they call the 60 is not too bad at long range. Often you'll see that sort of almost parallel, like on railway tracks. This is just to reduce stress off the knee, but also keep your hips open to get some drive in there, alright?
So you don't want one line, you don't want an L, you want two lines.
Never want an L. This, probably enough, is not a good position. I know that you'll see it sometimes in the fencing manuals when they're lunging.
Never read a fencing manual.
This is okay for a lunging kind of thing, but while you're still new, and look, honestly, you can get away with it, but while
As a
you're
general rule, this is what you want to do. There are exceptions to every rule.
yeah, just while you're learning power, at some point you can start breaking rules and it doesn't fucking matter. Once you've got the fundamentals and you're going, yep, I've got everything else working, but this is just need a little bit more juice for now, okay? Alright, do that a couple of times and then we'll do a drill with you. What are your thoughts, Joe?
Do you remember we had a discussion a little while ago about the perfect... Keep going.
Ignore us. You keep fighting. We're talking about you, not you.
We had the movements like you're transitioning through guards and things like that, and I've really sort of... I think there's a lot of value in that because it helps you link shots together.
Oh yeah, we did cover off the guards when I was explaining it.
Yeah. But just sort of like emphasising the transition through the guard as much as you're focusing on the shot as well.
Yeah, well, in some ways, that conversation about footwork is that it's about being in a good footwork guard in the sense of a good stance. That I'm making sure I'm starting, through that. Yeah. But you're right. There's that transition for the guards.
Yeah.
Like as I'm saying, like from here, hanging guard, bang, side guard, bang, hanging guard again, wrap. Hanging guard.
Turn over. Yeah. I think from maybe Dylan's training point, there's a couple of things here. So when Dylan does pell work and out of armour stuff, he's much more upright. As soon as he puts her arm on, he sort of gets into this
and
he gets into this crab walk. The other thing is that I've been trying to work with Dylan on is throwing, like Ariston calls them high percentage shots, like don't throw into shields basically.
Yeah.
So that's something I think we can drill on the pedal. So he's doing a lot better here, for example, particularly with the head shots, not so much the leg and the bodies, but they're going, like you can see here he's aiming for like the eye slot basically, which is what we want. Now if we can transition that into in armour, I think they're two big things that would help Dylan.
Cool. Yeah.
In my humble opinion.
No, I think you're right. So with your first open shot and pendulum, what do you try and drop it, rather than dropping it up here, just practice how you throw to that space there. Okay? Yeah, that's it. Because in some ways that's easier to do than throwing into there.
I can do that. I should be able to do that.
Yeah. Because that actually, when we used to teach it, it was always the armpit. So first one's the armpit, second one's the head. Get the sort of leg off the thing, back of the leg, eyes again. Right. Cool. 3 more times when we do, and then we'll do a drill. Cool. Alright. Pick up the shield. What we're going to do is we're going to do this.
I do have a question that I've noticed is making me not feel right on the shot. Transitioning from the eye slot to try to get down low.
So firstly, when you're transitioning across, so that turn of snap should be a side guard. You're blocking a snap. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it should be more out here. Because the problem I'm having is when I'm trying to go for the leg shot, I feel like I'm hitting my arm.
Okay, so that issue is probably a position. You're not far enough to the offside. So probably in your sword probably needs to come out further when you're doing it. So I'll show you. You want to stand somewhere we can watch. So you're talking about that. So starting roughly in range, I'm going to start from the offside. So pendulum into the armpit. Probably a bit long for me. So shooting guard, shuffle step forward. Turning through, turn over cart to the head. Now, side guard, push. As I throw, so it should
So
be.
you're in front of the sword.
What's that?
Oh, you're in front of the sword.
Yeah, my sword's probably in front. I'm not here.
Yeah.
I'm here, usually. What are you doing? Are you doing this?
I think that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, that might be the thing. So with those side guards, it's almost, the sword's almost always in front. Now remember, these pommels will probably catch more than a regular sword.
Well, for me, I'm worried about the this, not.
Okay, no. It's
I'll just try keeping the sword out a bit more, and I consider with it.
yeah. Well, it should be between you and the opponent, effectively. So where the opponent's weapon's coming from, that is where you want that sword blade. Okay. We don't want it this because that really isn't defensive at all, unless they're throwing like an axe or something down. It's forward, so it's as much as I've thrown that shot, I'm transitioning through the catch. And if they don't throw anything, bang, straight through. And I'm popping that shield up as I throw it.
Yeah.
In case they do throw something high, then popping it back down. Catch. Oh, whoops, that's right. Yep, popping it down. So the wrap. Shield's probably high again. I'm looking. It's in the way, but I can still see a bit of what's going on. Down. Now I'll do that. Two more times, and then I'm going to get you to do a draw with me. Alright. Looks like he looks at.
This is another example where there's a lot of value in the beginner's course, because before you get to the perfect circle, you cover the kit here, which includes that side guard.
Well, he would have done that. It's just possibly that. Also, the way I was teaching to you is probably a little bit more smoothed out than him.
Yeah, but he's also had a long time between, so he
Yeah.
may have done it, forgotten it, come back, and now he's
Yeah.
just sort of picking things up as he goes.
Yeah.
Whereas if you had someone, say me for example, who my first exposure was
Yeah.
the beginner's course and transitioned straight into it, had those foundations to begin with. But it's just an observation, like
Yeah.
there's value in this.
Oh yeah. Cool. All right. You got it.
It feels
Okay.
better.
So we're now going to do a different drill. You're going to practice it on me. Be gentle. I am not going to block it. Okay. I will, however, when you throw that shot, I'm not going to block it, but I am going to effectively let the shot pause. I'm then going to start block it and throw a receiving shot. And that's when you transition. I don't know how this is going to go. That takes a very long time. So, I'm in my guard. I want you to throw that pendulum, and I want you to pause for a minute. Okay? See how you're out of range? You still need to hit me. Just don't. Well, you still need to be in range to attack me. That's not the
But yeah, I'm aiming for there.
Yep. So you might need to find. You're also leaning into me at the moment. So I want you to come closer. All right. So just check. Just start with throw a snap. So throw standard snap. Yep. Is that the right distance?
I feel like I'm too close because I'm currently leaning back.
No, you are not too close because pull that through. That's not. So you need to be hitting me with the sweet spot. So swap. I realise this is going to make things difficult. Yeah, both and stuff. Don't touch your eyes. Yeah. Alcohol earlier. So throw again. Split shot that. Okay. Place it to my head gently. Do you see where the red bit is? So you probably, if you lean into it, you would be okay. But you almost need to be a fraction closer. Right. So, taking that in mind again, check the shot, check the range. Better?
Yeah, closer.
Cool. Alright, starting offline. Yeah. Just a bit out,
Closer.
but better. Are you leaning?
What are my weight is here?
So really, your weight doesn't want to be too much on the front once you sit balance. Okay?
So I want to be here.
And I want that
So I
heel.
want here.
Okay. Actually, just move that foot forward, but don't move the back one, right? And as you turn, I want you to let that heel pop out a little. Better? But don't shift your weight onto the front bit.
Oh no, so this is me moving my hips to feel it. It's still mostly here.
Okay. And you're a little bit closer now, right? Cool. From here, so what I would probably be doing is I'm going to block, and I'm probably going to throw something to here. So what I want you to do is throw that turnover card from here. So you've just thrown, I've thrown a wrap, you're going to catch it with your hanging guard. Don't turn, you've thrown that shot, so I want you to shuffle forward, use the hanging guard to block it, and then shuffle forward like you're going to throw the turnover card. Yep. So you avoided where I'm going for, now throw the turnover shot.
So close, so I've got to shuffle.
Probably not too far back, you probably just need to, rather than come directly into me, just come a little bit away as you do that. So start again. Are you in range? Check.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Just check. Yep, cool. Throw that pendulum. Cool. Alright. Yep, okay. I'm going to turn. I'm going to throw that. Yep. Alright, now throw your turnover card.
still way close.
It's probably not the end of the world. Okay?
Because I'm
It-
still sticking at this point.
Yeah, okay, cool. This is stuff, so what I'm going to do is I've thrown that, I can't, the only way I'm going to block that is probably, you know, instead of go that, so I'm probably going to block there. Now go, as I sort of recover, throw the weak shot down.
Next shot.
So step, throw the weak shot. Yep, that's got me, right. So I'm now going to probably step back, through here, wrap.
So that is.
Yep. Probably throw again. Right, cool. Now I'm going to turn, block that. I'm going to throw a snap. What I want you to do is do that deflection. So I'm going to block that. I'm going to throw a snap and throw the eye shot. And finish. And you should be at a range. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
It's a bit awkward with those sort of counter bits, but you can sort of see, like, you can see that if I block it, you should be, did you notice you were going effectively into a gap that I was not defended in? Okay, we'll do this a couple of times. I will try and throw those shots in there so you can feel why you need to get that transition upper. So, start again. Cool.
Oh, I'm meant to be doing it.
Supposed to be a turnover to my head. So, just turn over here. How does that feel? Like, okay?
That's not short stick, that's not long stick. That's
Whatever. It's a start. Like, at least you're in range, right? So, I'm going to have to go through here. It's not really much. Actually, so what I'll probably do is probably have to block. So, I'm throwing a wrap. Are you going to throw a snap again? No, I'm probably going to throw a snap again. Maybe, okay, let's say I throw the leg. It doesn't matter. So,
I'd go step in and go for the arm on the leg.
so look at what's happening with the shield there. When you throw that leg shot, that shield needs to come on. Because realistically, what's going to happen is you're always open, right? And look at, you might need to find you need to come back in. You might find that you're actually moving along here rather than along here. So you might need to move along here rather than along here. Okay, cool. So the leg shot. Cool. Again, I'm probably going to throw that wrap. So again, transition up. Throw the wrap. Cool. And I'm gonna throw the snap. So, what are you
Yeah,
gonna do?
so I'm up here, and then it's the turnover.
So what should have happened is you should have went
Oh, I should have
Lock.
shuffled that.
and then throw the shot. So that's what you're gonna do. Cool. So start again from the beginning.
Yep.
We'll try and get this without interruption. Go. Don't worry about blocking as much as turning into the next shot, okay? I'm just trying to give you an idea of what could be coming into that space. Right. You need to be closer on the way.
Closer. Yep.
Okay, so you, this is it.
So take another shot instead.
Well, after you throw that shot, you need to make either a bigger shuffle step to get position, or I don't know, just try. So if you get that, yep, cool. I'm gonna throw it again. You're gonna try to throw the wrap, so I'm gonna block. Throw that wrap, yep. Cool, good. Now, you're gonna lock fool's guard. You're gonna shuffle. You're gonna shuffle.
Yeah, I'm in a bad spot.
You are in a bad spot. Anyway, try and get yourself to a better spot and get ready for that sort of hanging, that from fool's guard to hanging guard to block my shot. Cool. Cool. Yep. And crossing it. And are you out of range? Yep. Make sense?
Yep. As long as I can remember.
Cool. A couple more times. This time I'm not going to throw the attacks. I'm just going to I'm going to try and block them in time as you throw them. Once they're blocked, I want you to transition to the next shot. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Go. A couple more times, I'm just going to block them. So remember, that shot, you shouldn't be coming back in. What it should is, as you throw that shot, you're going to transition, throw the shot. So with whatever minimal, like with that body motion, you can squeeze out because I know it's hard. So you can almost sort of, you're not going to, you might have to do this to get the shot. You might have to use a little bit more torso rather than try and go back in, because if you try and go back in,
You've moved it and you've moved it.
you're not going to be able to get back out in time. Or if they come in on you as you're moving forward, it's going to be very hard for you to get out.
Yeah.
So it's almost sort of going back so that you can keep going out. Alright. Cool. Joe, did you want to do some?
Not particularly, but I did notice the way that Dylan's throwing turnover cuts. So
Yeah.
the way that I sort of do them is from here. You're keeping the sword kind of in front of your body. You're just sort of using your wrist to. So a small movement here is a big movement there, right? So it's that kind of, and that's the advantage of that shot, is that's very quick. What you're doing, you're sort of bringing it behind your head and turning it into a stab. That's not a bad thing, because that can have, because you're transitioning through a guard if you do that, right? So you're like offside, block, catch, go. So it has its advantages, but I think for the purpose of this, like
Yeah. What Joe said exactly.
pendulum, that's the really quick to catch him off guard, right? Yep. That's yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna go from there, drop, almost.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you're doing it with a step as well, right? Because you sort of
Yeah.
lean back as you threw it, right? Yep. Bit exaggerated, but that's the right idea.
Yeah.
The advantage of that, not only is that fast, but it keeps the sword in front of you, so
yeah.
it's kind of protecting your head as well. Because if you're throwing the pendulum here, there's a gap when that sword's moving where you're open here kind of thing, but if you're stepping as well, you're moving your head away. So,
Exactly what he said.
right.
Now I'm going to do it to you. So I can have a practice.
Okay.
Okay. So I want you, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna place the shot, and I want you to basically feel where